embrace recognition of the inherent dignity and of the equal and inalienable rights of all members of the human family
is the foundation of freedom, justice and peace in the world.
Disregard and contempt for human rights
have resulted in barbarous acts which have outraged the conscience of humankind.
And the advent of a world in which human beings shall enjoy freedom of speech, belief and freedom from fear.
It is essential if man is not to be compelled to have recourse
as a last resort to rebellion against tyranny and oppression.
Human rights should be protected by rule of law.
Whereas it is essential to promote the development of friendly relations between nations.
All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights.
Everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression.
Everyone has the right to life, liberty, and security of person.
No one shall be held in slavery or servitude.
Everyone has the right to education.
No one shall be subjected to torture or cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatments or punishments.
All are equal before the law and are entitled without discrimination to equal protection of the law.
Everyone has the right to freedom of movement and residence within the borders of each state.
No one should be subjected to arbitrary arrest, detention or exile.
Everyone is entitled in full equality to a fair and public hearing by an independent and impartial tribunal.
Everyone has the right to work and to free choice of employment.
Everyone has the right to freedom of thought, conscience and religion.
Hi, I'm Malak and I'm Palestinian. Palestinians don't even have proper access to education. Instead of crossing the street 500 meters to reach their school, they are forced to walk around the apartheid wall, which can be up to kilometers in distance. The basic necessities such as food, water and electricity that we take for granted, they don't have access to it. They don't have freedom of movement whenever they want to express themselves, whenever they want to protest and say, we are under oppression. They are oppressed even more. My grandparents were evacuated from their homes during the 1948 war that Israel began. And then the 1990 war occurred in Kuwait, and we had to move to Australia looking for a better future.
Hi, I'm Yangchen, I'm Tibetan. It was year 2000 when me and my mom and my uncle started to come to India. We walked for 49 days and then we reached Nepal. In our journey, we came across a lot of fear. In Tibet, there's no human rights. We're not even allowed to learn our own language. In schools, all the textbooks used to be in Tibetan, but now they all changed it into Chinese. We're not allowed to practice our Buddhist faith. They're not allowed to keep the Dalai Lama's photos on their wall or in their house. In 2009, we arrived in Australia. My mom doesn't speak English, and I do a little bit. At school, I was the only Tibetan, and there were Chinese people who were really mean to me and stuff. One of the challenges is for the Australian to understand Tibet's problem. In my future, I want to participate in every political movement, not only for Tibet, but for every other country who is suffering from lack of human rights.
Hi, I'm Ade. I'm from Sierra Leone. I came into Australia as a refugee. That was in 2004. And as I've just pretty much war broke out in 1990 and rebel forces rebelling against the legitimate governments. They accused the governments of corruption, that the government is not managing the country fund properly. Their ideology that they have was that the civilians are the one that actually voted for the legitimate government. So what they do is they will cut limbs and fingers and things like that in order to stop the civilians from voting from the government. In 1999, war broke up again, and the same thing happened, and at the time we have to leave the country because of fear for our lives. I was very fortunate that I got picked up on the Australian one, and in 2004 I relocated to Australia. Most of my community cannot speak English, and that creates a barrier, and I think one of the major things the government has to do is providing interpreters, in other words, for these people to feel much more at home, and also maybe to sponsor community organization, because I remember when I first came into this country, I was completely lost. I think maybe creating an educational awareness, to the general public, that they could understand what is refugee, why they are here, and what their roles. I think it's a good idea.